Hey there, I'm back. I'm going to elaborate on another topic I wanted to talk about. There's this YouTuber called her name or her channel is How to ADHD by name of the person is Jessica McCabe, and my parents back in late June showed this channel of hers to me, and she had so many similar signs that I had for ADHD. And I don't know if this is gonna be a 2-part or 3-part video, but for as long as I want to talk, I'll go into it. So I have the time today. So yeah, I know I've been diagnosed. I've had ADHD for a long time, so I'll go into that in a little bit. But I got a renewed interest because of her, and then there's another guy called Charles Barkley. Barkley is his last name. He's a doctor who's done extensive research on ADHD, and one of these days I'm going to go and watch his lecture series. They're very insightful, very detailed. I think each part is like 1 hour long. So yeah, I bet I'm going to need some time, and I'm probably going to thinking about maybe this week starting and go on his. But I go on Jessica McCabe's site when I see a video of hers. You know, they're like 4 or 5 or 6 years old. I think it's up to 5 years. So that's what gave me a renewed interest, and I want to share my experiences. I'm not going to try to compete with her website. She's got a lot more viewers than that. But I just want to share, a little bit about it from my was an older person in his early 50s. When I was a lot younger, I wasn't always the outgoing type like I am now. It took years and years of development and confidence, and I'm still actually learning about myself. But I'm very, very proud that, it's like a badge of honor to have it. I feel like I'm part of a group of people that have it too, and I'm not alone. I guess I'm the first generation where I got diagnosed, and they used to call it ADD, and then as recent as I think the 2000s is when they changed it to ADHD. It used to be attention deficit disorder. And then the hyperactivity part didn't come in until the 2000s. So I definitely have a little, even at 50 years of age, I do have hyperactivity, But I found with good dieting and meditation and being around certain elements in my environment can alter that. So I'm still learning about it, even at my age. But I think what it comes down to is acceptance. It's like anything, any kind of treatment or any kind of program or anything you want to learn. You have to be willing to accept who you are and your circumstances. If you don't accept who you are, that's half the battle right there. So you gotta accept who you are, and you can't be ashamed of it. You have to embrace it, which I've done. I'm not gonna go wave have a bumper sticker. Hey, I got ADHD. But if someone asks, I'm not afraid to. I don't hold back. Yeah, I got ADHD. It's better for them to know that I have ADHD. There was a video that they put a 6-year-old girl with a 6-year-old boy, and it was only a 5-minute video, and they compared and contrast. Can you tell who has ADHD? And the little boy, 6-year-old boy, was got good grades, a lot of friends, a lot of invites to parties and things like that, and could sit still in his chair. The little girl, on the other hand, could barely, she keep up with her assignments, and she's all over. She's sitting on the edge of her seat. I used to do that, move around and things like that, and get bullied, picked on a lot, beat up. 6 years old was 6 years old was a very hard time for me. I'd go home from school and the kids would beat me up, and I was called, because I had red hair, and I had a speech impediment. It hurt me deep down inside, not hurt me, but it did. I felt rejected, and to this day, it's still hard to deal with rejection from people and employers. You go to a job and you work your behind off. You do a real good job, and then your boss, who you think is your friend, is not your friend. He ends up giving the guy or the girl, the gal, that's only been there 5 months or a year. You've been at that, like in my case, I was at a job for like 5 years. And that person, because they do a lot of, they're very popular with the boss. And they slick talk, they're perfect talkers and everything. And because of how I talk or how my voice sounds or whatever, I don't get the promotion. And, I end up working under the guy that got promoted that doesn't have this seniority. So, sometimes rejection, even at my age, is very, very hard. But I've gotten better in recent years how to handle it. I think it's attributable to being married and was being married, and now I'm going to be divorced and newly single. So, but watching that video, going back to that, I sort of brought tears to my eyes. I really felt bad for that little girl, I think it was like filmed back in 2015, so she's probably 11 now. So I like the message of that video that we should treat kids with autism and any kind of disability, try to make them feel included. As a kid from the 1970s, we didn't have any of that. And I even used to get bullied in the early 80s. The 80s was a little rough. And then as I got older, toward a teenager, and I learned to fight back with fists. The thing that helped me fight back was, so I was big, my family likes to watch a lot of TV and movies. And I used to go to movies a lot. Was the Rocky movies. And I went to the movie theater to watch Rocky 3. I still think that's the best one of the series. And so I want to thank Sylvester Stallone for teaching me how to use my fist. Rocky 3, So I learned how to punch and fight back. And I lived out in the Midwest, Wisconsin. Not today where you use knives and guns. Back then it was fist. So, but yes, I used to get bullied a lot. And I learned how to stick up for myself and not take crap. And then the next phase that kind of gave me direction was military. And this is before I got diagnosed with ADD, right? I had got diagnosed with ADD, but back in the early 80s, they thought that once you got to be an adult, by 18, 19, 20, you would grow out of it. They needed to do more research, and then it wasn't until like the 90s, mid to late 90s, early 2000s, that they started coming out with more research that it doesn't go away. See, ADHD, or it used to be ADD, is a neurological disorder, or maybe a chemical or something. You would have to watch Jessica McCabe's videos. It's very, very good. And Dr. Barkley's good. I can't wait to see his videos. I want to subscribe to his stuff, and I already subscribed to Jessica McCabe's. Very, 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 very good. So thank you, Jessica. So yeah, it's too bad that us kids, too bad our generation didn't have the kind of acknowledgement that they have today. But I'm not jealous. I'm just saying. Would I take it back? No. I would not want to go back and change it. I think we're put on here for a reason by God. And another thing that saved me from like alcoholism, I think this is a stereotype. I hope it is. Because there are other people out there with ADHD or not. You have a problem, they don't all the time turn to alcohol and drugs. I think what also saved me was church, being a Christian. And like I said, having family and friends and certain understanding bosses goes a long way. Being more fully educated about it, I do not make fun of people with disabilities. It's wrong. And even I'm not like a worshiper of our current president, Joe Biden. Finding out that President Biden has a stuttering disability makes me more proud to have him in the White House representing people like me. So thank you, Mr. Biden. Thank you, President Biden. And it's nice to have a first lady be an educator and be very understanding and not bashing Trump or Melania or anything like that. But and I did like Melania Trump trying to put the message about bullying. So I give her an A for effort. But yeah, when you get bullied in that, whether you have a studying problem or ADHD, and back in the 90s when I got diagnosed a second full time, I was very ashamed of it. I didn't, a lot of times I didn't want to have to rely on medications. I took, the first one I took was a Ritalin. Ritalin was a common thing. And then as I come up with more medications, I took Strattera. And because of pharmaceutical drugs being so expensive and I didn't have insurance on and off, in recent years I figured I didn't need it. But now that I've gotten out of my marriage and I'm taking a step back and acknowledging and learning about myself, maybe I may have to find a different kind of medication with a very lower dosage. So that's something I'm going to have to explore. I finally got health insurance through the ACA, because I'm not working. Once I get working, I'll get my own insurance through an employer probably. But in the meantime, I'm doing what I have to do. So, yeah. So with that being said, I'm going to go into at least one more part about my ADHD, and then we'll go from there. So until next time, talk to you later. Be safe and have a good day there. God bless. Happy summer 2021.